Folks, hello and welcome back to Tavern Chat. Tree. Third video of the day. I shouldn't be surprised that there's an ORC announcement after there's an OGL playtest announcement because now they are competing entities to a large extent. So, what does ORC have to say? Over the course of the past week, more than 1,500 tabletop RPG publishers, myself included, from household names going back to the dawn of the hobby to single proprietors just starting out with their first digital release, have joined together to pledge their support for the development of a universal system neutral open license that provides a legal safe harbor for sharing rules mechanics and encourages innovation and collaboration in the tabletop gaming space. The alliance has gathered, work has begun. It would take too long to list all the companies behind the ORC license effort. We thought you might be interested in seeing a few of the organizations already pledged toward this common goal. We are honored to be allied with them as well as with the equally important participating publishers, too numerous to list here. Each is crucial to the effort's success. The list below is but a representative sample of participating publishers from a huge variety of market segments with a huge variety of perspectives. But we all agree on one thing: we are all in this together. So I'm going to go through this and just pick out a few names. Atlas Games, Autark, Venture Conqueror King System, BRW Games, that's Joseph Block, Ventures Dark and Deep, Chaosium, DM Dave has a huge Patreon, the DM Lair, N World, Evil Genius Games, Expeditious Retreat Press, huge selection of advanced Dungeons and Dragons compatible adventures, Fantasy Grounds, Fat Dragon Games, Tom Tullis, my bolt-headed friend, Foundry VTT, Free RPG Day, Frog God Games, Gale Force 9. They lost their contract with Wizards of the Coast recently. Okay, that makes sense. Goodman Games, Green Ronin Games, Cobalt Press, Lone Wolf Development, Lewis Porter Jr. Designs, Mongoose Publishing, Monty Cook Games, MT Black, Necromancer Games, Nord Games, Paizo, Pelgrane Press, Pinnacle Entertainment Group, Raging Swan Press, Roll20, Roll for Combat, Sly Flourish, Troll Lord Games, Ulysses Spiel. Wow, that's a list and a half. But on top of that, they sent out an email to the publishers. I happen to be a publisher that signed up. I know I'm a small publisher. Somebody's going to say, yeah, whatever. Well, at least I got the email and I'm going to share it. So let's go to the videotape. Share screen. Here we go. Welcome to the ORC Alliance. Thank you for pledging your support to participate in the development of the Open RPG Creative License, ORC. In the past week, we've seen more than 1,500 publishers join our growing alliance. We've already read that part. We're honored and gratified to have you at our side as we work together to create a universal system neutral open license that provides a safe harbor for sharing rules mechanics and encourages innovation and collaboration in the tabletop gaming space. To clearly restate the goals of the ORC license, we intend to create a system neutral open gaming license that provides a legal framework for sharing game rule mechanics, content between publishers, provide game designers and publishers clarity on how to use game rule mechanics published under a license without having to pay lawyers to research or defend that use. Establish a community of open game publishers to better share best practices, advice, and resources. When the license is complete, fund an appropriate, independent, nonprofit home for the new license, unaffiliated with the shifting self-interest of any company involved in the tabletop publishing business. This is my opinion, where they are saying, without saying, no morality clause. Because that shifting self-interest is where that morality clause comes in. I could just be reading between the lines. I could be wrong. I'm certainly not speaking with any authority other than, yeah, that sounds like it. In working toward these goals, we will use as our guidance the original open game license that has served as a common resource in the tabletop publishing industry for more than 2 decades. Through preliminary strategic discussion and iterative draft commentary, participating publishers will influence the development of the license into its final form, which is intended to last forever. For the open RPG creative license to work, its terms must be both perpetual and irrevocable, and they must be maximally useful to the largest and broadest array of publishers possible. The best orc license is the one that works for all of us, and together we will make sure that our mission remains laser focused on its core objectives. While development of the orc license is a community project, temporary custodianship of the in progress project will reside with Azora Law, an intellectual property law firm that represents several tabletop gaming publishers. The project will be promoted by Paizo Incorporated, one of Azora's many clients in the space. However, the orc license is empath, is certainly. How about that? I'm going to change it because for some reason I'm having a new TSR moment. Not a Paizo project.
What happened? Your literacy?
Yeah, I feel
I hijacked.
I rolled a 1. It's like make a literacy check. Jeez.
Nice. I like that.
Nor will the finished license remain the property of Azora Law, as the intention is to transfer ownership of the final license to a nonprofit organization with a history of open source values. We have had a number of important discussions and contacts along these lines over the last week, and a future update to participating publishers will detail the progress and the aim of these discussions. For more insight into the founding of the ORC license, participants are encouraged to read Gizmodo's recent interview with Paizo President Jim Butler, which provides some additional details on some of the foundational values of the project. With your participation, we will develop those foundations over an iterative draft and commentary process. We expect to begin with the first draft in February. Formal discussion of the project will be hosted on the official ORC license Discord, which is open to all registered project participants. We've already set up some early structure, including a new introduce yourself, general discussion, and questions forum. As we move toward a first draft for discussion purposes, we'll be focusing on formal updates on definitions of key terms and further breakdowns of our mission objectives to keep participants focused on our common goals. Thank you again for pledging your support of the development of the ORC license. We look forward to the discussions to come and to a bright future for the entire gaming industry. Today's been a really good day. We have an OGL which would actually be palatable in 1.2. And by the way, 1.1, if it was a draft, they wouldn't be skipping 1.1 in the numbering. Just a side foot. But if they get it, if 1.2 does away with the personal conduct, I think most publishers will be okay with the with the defined morality clause, or what you can and cannot do, defined, not subject to the whims, and personal conduct is way too sketchy to be included for, I think, most publishers to settle on that. But I suspect we're going to see both an OGL 1.2 that gets a certain amount of acceptance and an ORC license that gets a large amount of acceptance because it has less baggage behind it. But I think they'll both be in play. So, folks, oh my God, three videos. I'm going to start losing the hair. It's already going gray. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll this dice, roll them well. Again, remember, tomorrow night, Friday the 20th, there'll be a live stream, 8 p.m. Hope to see you then. All right, folks. Laters.